this game here with the Mastodons of Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne, but he takes them one game at a time, and I'm sure he's seen a lot of footage of these guys, knows what to expect. It's going to be a very physical game, a lot of points, both teams averaging over 90 per game.
USI trying to go to 9-2, 3-0 in the Great Lakes Valley. We've got USI basketball after this. Third meeting ever between USI and Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne with Doug Emming. I'm Duran Smith. USI 8-2, 2-0 in the GLVC. Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne an impressive 9-1, 2-1 in the conference. Their only loss last Thursday night at the Sports Center in Owensboro, Doug.
And beat by a three-pointer by Herb Arneson to get that victory for Kentucky Wesleyan, so this should be a very good matchup. We talked about point production, both averaging 90 points or better per game on the 92-93 season. IPFW comes in 92 points a game, USI at 95. The preseason All-American Sean Gibson, number 41 for IPFW, leading the way in points, 21.9, also rebounds, about 9 per game.
Update you in the region poll. USI is 8-2 this season, tied for third with Kentucky Wesleyan. In the region, they are not ranked. Kentucky Wesleyan moves down to 13, and Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne jumps to number 4 in the nation. That will drastically change if they lose here tonight at Pack Arena.
And this is going to be a very important game, I think, for USI to get off to such a good start, especially at home. They are 6-0 so far here in 92-93. They have been averaging almost 100 points a game here at home, so look for a lot of points on the scoreboard.
Chris Bullsdog Reinecke jumping off. We are underway on a Saturday night at the Pack. This is Scott Simmons. This is a very fast team, Doug, as you set the starting lineups.
First for the USI Screaming Eagles, at one guard Tyrone Tate, 6'1" and a junior. The other guard Craig Martin, 6'2" and a junior. The forwards Jeff Doyle, 6'5" and a junior. Neil Coyle, 6'8" and a freshman. And at center Chris Bowles, 6'10" and a senior.
One to look out for tonight, Sean Gibson with the first two.
Starters for IPFW, the Mastodons out of Fort Wayne. At one guard, Andre Walton, 5'8" and a senior. Scott Simmons, the other guard, 6'1" and a junior. The forward, Shane Gibson, 6'5" and a senior. Sean Gibson, 6'7" and a senior. And the center, Doug Reinecke, 6'8" and a senior.
They own the first two. I kid you not, this will be a tough one as Tyrone Tate starts Southern Indiana back up court. Andy Piazza, head coach of Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne, in his 7th year, very, very impressive. 108-48, 7 years at IPFW.
And this is a very solid ball club. Bruce Pearl probably thinks this is one of the best clubs in the GLVC as far as depth. They've got a lot of physical players, a lot of size underneath.
USI slow to start opening minute, trailing 4-0. And our man from 3, Craig Martin, impressive game the other night, as this guy has been all season long. Jeff Doyle missing on the opening 3. And here's the lead again for Andre Walton. One of the speediest teams in the SIAC is out of Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne, and Andy Piazza admits this is the best team they've ever had in the history of the school, Doug.
And you look at the way that they've come out. They're playing a 2-3 zone, trying to shut down some of that outside shooting. Martin there, a good baseline move, good positioning underneath by Jeff Doyle. That's what Southern Indiana's going to have to do here tonight. They're going to have to get position underneath because they are a little bit underclassed as far as size underneath the basket.
Doug Reinecke picks up the first foul for Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. Losing their first again back on Thursday. USI trying to make it 3 games in a row here. Started with Kentucky Wesleyan back 1 week ago. Their last loss against Quincy a week ago from this past Tuesday. First for USI. It is Jeff Doyle at the free throw line.
And if you look at Jeff's stats on the season, this is probably the most area that he needs to work on, his free throw percentage. 4 for 14, 29% coming in. But he's done good from the field all season long, 63%, 50% from three-point land.
4-2, Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne here on the outset. 18-36, just underway at the Pack on a Saturday. Scott Simmons. Good perimeter shooting team also. And one of them, Sean Gibson. Shane Gibson, the brothers here with Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. And Andre Walton, who's at the top of the key, and there's going to be one of your options tonight, and Doug Reinecke. Doug.
Reinecke, 6'8", and a senior. They've got 8 seniors on this ball club, so they have a lot of experience. He comes in averaging almost 9 points a ball game.
Slowest I've seen USI start out here at the Pack so far, where they are undefeated here in the 92-93 season.
And they have had a lot of success here dating back to the tournaments early in the season. There's just a bad pass by Fort Wayne. Ball back out of bounds now to Southern Indiana.
Sloppy on the outset, 6-2 Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. We have played 2 minutes here in the first half as Bruce Pearl tries to take his first year addition to 9-2. This is Tyrone Tate. Did not get a start the other night due to disciplinary reasons. Missed a practice back on Monday. They sat him down for the first shift. Chris Bowles, and even he's missing. I say he makes that shot 9 times out of 10, and he missed it there. Walton, fast-paced Mastodons, and they're missing some easy buckets here on the outset also. There's the follow-up, and the first 2 for Andre Walton.
One of the smaller people on the floor tonight, 5'8" and a senior, but you can see the quickness right there. Got in after the miss by Reinecke. Traveling violation called on USI. That is their second turnover.
Slow start here, Doug. This is not the USI team we've seen the past 2 outings here at Pack Arena.
Well, they're going up against a similar type of ball club, and we talk about the speed and the fast tempo that we're going to see tonight. You can see that there is not really a lot of slowdown offense as far as Fort Wayne is concerned. They're going to push the ball up, something that USI has really had a lot of success with when they go up against teams like that because they have so many people on the bench. Fort Wayne comes in with just as much depth.
8-2 Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. IPFW trying to go to 10-1 and stay ranked in the top 10. Trying to find room, and offensive foul is called here, and a good break for USI. Chance to crank it back up, and don't forget Todd Jones just entered the lineup.
Foul on Shane Gibson, the 6'5" senior. That is his first. Trying to drive to get to the baseline, called for an offensive foul. Team foul number 2 on the Mastodons.
Tyrone Tate and Jeff Doyle, the only 2 from the free throw line. And there is Bowles. Right back at you. Lead cut in half, 8-4 IPFW.
And I think early in the ball game, they need to try to get the ball into Chris. He had a great game the other night against Ashland. 12 for 13 from the field, finished with 28 points.
Sean Gibson, the brothers Sean and Shane. Very, very potent. Sean again in the paint. 8-footer is good. He will not miss often in the paint or even nearby.
Averaging almost 22 points a ball game, 9 rebounds a game. He is shooting 63% from the field coming in.
Greg Martin had thoughts of 3. 17-footer denied. Back outside. Todd Jones hits the 17 from the top. Big one. 10-4 IPFW. Still with a lead 2-on-2 for the moment. And again, dish it off. They have so many shooting options, Doug. Unlike in Ashland, they've got 5 very solid starters.
And you can see the big guys, the size out there, they run the floor real well. After a made basket, they get down. After an offensive exchange, get back down easily. A miss right there by Gibson. Good follow-up by Todd Jones to get the rebound.
One of the more impressive, pleasant surprises of the 92-93 season just checked in. Freshman Scott Taylor. 10-6 IPFW. Weinke on the outside here, and Scott Simmons. A rare miss from that vantage point for Scott. Tyrone Tate has the bulk in front of him. And Craig Martin, third time denied the 3. Thought about it and pushes it back outside, Doug.
You can see very patient right now. Scott Taylor, the freshman in the lineup for Southern Indiana, number 42, 6'4". And he has really provided a lot of point production this year so far for Coach Pearl.
Tyrone missing his first attempt from the outside. 20 or better again, the speedy Andre Walton. 2-on-1 here with ease. Another one, 12-6. They've doubled USI here.
And right now, Southern Indiana just having trouble getting back on the defense. You can see good job defensively by IPFW. They're allowing USI only 1 shot.
3-on-1 here, Doug. In the right place at the right time, although he couldn't hold on with Scott Taylor as the other freshman, Sean Aldridge, gets set to check on in here. A slower start. We're picking it up slowly, though, Doug.
It's going to take a while, I think, just for everybody to get back into the thought of things. After a rout like they had Thursday night, 121-74, that kind of takes you out of your regular game plan because you've got such a lopsided victory. I was getting ready to say both of these freshmen, Taylor and also Aldridge, have had an impact this year. Scott Taylor comes in averaging about 8 points a ball game, 6 points a ball game for Aldridge.
Check out the size and the thickness of Pat Murphy, Doug, number 54.
Well, we talked about their size coming in, and they've got 4 guys over 6'6", over 220 pounds. Murphy 6'6", and a senior.
6'6", 215, that is all muscle, my friends. 15.5 remaining, and there's the easy 2 for Shane Gibson. Either Gibson, pretty darn good.
Well, both of the Gibsons, and when you look at Reinecke in the middle, that's probably the strength as far as their inside game. Good cut right there by Taylor without the ball. Good eyesight by Aldridge to see that he was open.
Murphy muscling there. Picks up the foul. 14-6, Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. This being the 23rd meeting, IPFW holds the series edge. They have won 12 of the 22 previous, including both last year. Rather lopsided, Doug.
Well, last year was last year, and everybody knows that, especially the players. You can see that the confidence is back. They know that they can come out and be involved and being matched up just about every ball game they're going to be in.
Scott Taylor trying to go 2 for 2. So impressed with this youngster. It is 2 for 2. At 14-8, USI's famous press of 1993. This is Walton. The no-look right there is Andy Liebert. Like I said, so many options, and the last 2 games have been denying baseline. That's not been the case here with IPFW.
Well, I talked a little bit Thursday night in the Ashland contest. Up to that point, if there was going to be any improvement as far as USI was concerned, Bruce Pearl indicated it was probably going to be on the defensive end, and right now they are facing a ball club much like their own, where they get a fast break going, a lot of movement without the ball, and they're getting some easy shots underneath.
Got her back down to half a dozen, 16-10 before that one, missing on the outside. A little push and shove. It's physical, Doug. It's physical.
When you get a matchup like this, 2 good ball clubs coming in. 2-0 for the conference for USI, 2-1 for IPFW. And you've got the size and really the overall tempo like this. They know it's going to be a very good ball game. We talked about the loss at Kentucky Westland, so you know the Mastodons are hungry for a victory. They don't come down here and try to lose too.
Aldridge had traffic in front of him. Do you count that basket? I couldn't see.
Basket will count.
Good.
And a good job, again, finding the open man along the baseline. They're doing a good job. We saw Taylor before moving along the line without the ball. Aldridge saw him with a pass right there. That time they got a reversal right there. Good job by Aldridge. He got the basket, now going to the line for a possible 3-point play.
That was blocked the initial shot there, bunching up, Doug.
Foul on Pat Murphy. That'll be his second. 5th team foul on the Mastodons.
Coming closer. Cut the lead to 3, 16-13. It's been USI the past couple of minutes. And there's the press. Boy, do I like the defense. But over again.
That's kind of a no man's land right there. Todd Jones picked the ball up right around midcourt. He saw Tyrone Tate trailing right behind him. He got the pass to Tyrone, but Tyrone had not yet established himself in the front court.
14:36, that's time remaining here. The easy 2. Hello there.
Miscommunication right there by IPFW. Just a bad pass, and it appeared that Aldridge was going alone right there for the easy bucket and got it. Right back on the other end. Sean Gibson, his 5th bucket. He has yet to miss a shot.
I was going to say it works on both ends. With authority, that is Sean Gibson. They had to fix the rim. He knocked it out of its socket.
We are in for a battle here tonight. 18-15, 14-23. And you can see both teams going full tilt, both offensively and defensively.
18-15 by 3, Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. I don't care what the rankings say. These are 2 of the best teams in the country, Division II. Scott Taylor gets it back. Tyrone Tate. Maybe slow it down a bit. USI trailing by 3, yet to gain that lead. 14-10 remaining here in our first half. Mastodons again an impressive 9-1. USI 8-2.
And right now, IPFW back to man-to-man coverage. They've really switched a little bit as far as their defensive coverage. They started out in the zone, now man-to-man. And you can see looking inside, trying to find Chris Bowles.
Scott Taylor. Not a bad outside shot. And again, Tyrone, the transfer from Utah. Here is Bowles. Bowles missing a couple early here, Doug. A jump ball called. USI to get it back on the possession. Jeff Doyle, Neil Coyle getting set to check back in.
Good job, though, by Chris. They got him the ball in the lane, a little pump fake, a little bit off right there, but he saw the shot was coming off the rim, followed up his shot. I thought they might be able to get him for a call on the back right there, but the officials did not see it. So a jump ball, possession arrow should be favoring USI.
Neil Coyle, the inbound baseline. USI will hit the road for a while, a couple of games, before returning home in a couple of weeks. 18-15. Aldridge. And there's a man to shoot from 3. He and Martin, your man to go for on the outside this year. And Coyle left open underneath. There's There's the height and size advantage he had it. And again, the foul. You want a physical game, you're going to get it particularly underneath where the height comes in. Two big teams on the floor tonight, Doug.
And right now, USI doing a good job on the offensive end. You saw good positioning right there by Jeff Doyle. Good entry pass by Chris. He saw Neal break away towards the baseline. Couldn't get the ball to roll in, but a good follow-up right there by Doyle. He drew the foul. He's going to the line.
Bulls takes a seat. Hebron in there. Right now, Pearl going with Hebron, Coyle, Doyle, Aldridge, and Tyrone Tate.
Jeff back to the line. 2 points tonight. Both of those coming at the stripe.
Trying to cut the lead to 2. Much better here, Jeff. We got on him just a little bit back on Thursday night about the free throws.
Well, I'm sure that has been a concern with himself as well as Coach Pearl, and I'm sure Friday afternoon when they went through their practices, he spent a lot of time on the line just working on that.
Nobody there. Going to get technical. Andre Walton was there. Too far in front of him. Not a big reach for Andre.
And that's something I think you really expect to see, even though we've got two good ball clubs matched up here tonight. When you get a fast-paced game like this, you're going to have some turnovers with just some errant passes like that.
Tyrone, 13-13 remaining first half. USI tries to tie. Up and tied since the beginning. Well, the opening tip-off and a break here for IPFW. The physical game, particularly underneath, continues here in the opening 7 minutes.
Battle down in the paint right there. That foul on Neal Coyle, that is his first. Team foul number 2 on USI.
Scott Simmons and again Andre Walton. First time, look at Jeff Smith here. Remember him from last year. 3-on-3 for the moment. Tyrone. They give him room inside. Still USI fighting the tie. There's Coyle. We are tied at 18.
And so far that has been a success for Southern Indiana, getting those offensive boards, second opportunities to put it back. Good job there by Neal.
Simmons threw another one away. You know, in the past 5 minutes, it has not been typical IPFW basketball. Stu Sheets checks in, so does Craig Martin.
Well, you can see they're trying to beat that full court press from USI, and so far they've had a lot of luck sending a couple people down where they get 2-on-1 coverage. That time looking underneath, they had the numbers there. It was just an errant pass.
USI trying to take their first lead. Stu Sheets into the game, picks up his first foul earlier this afternoon. The Lady Eagles have done it again, Doug. 78-72 over IPFW. They are now 3-0 in the GLVC, and overall 8-5. Annette Elkin, 15 points. Kathy Lauk picked up 11. Charlene Tinner, Sherry Kaiser, 10 apiece.
And they have been playing excellent ball. They had a very good road trip up in Alaska. Came out with a pretty good win against Anchorage, and since they've got into conference play, as Darren just said, undefeated, and they are playing probably the best basketball here at USI the past couple of years.
It's the best I've ever seen them play. Scott Simmons putting IPFW back on top. Stu Sheets gets one in the eye. Simmons right in front of him.
Fast-paced game. I said you're going to see a lot of turnovers. You're also going to see a lot of fouls. Trying to recover when you get such quickness on the court like that. Scallop foul on Scott Simmons. That is his first. Team foul number 7. So pretty good job right now for Southern Indiana. The final 12-29, they'll be going to the line on the fouls.
And like Bruce Pearl, Doug, Piazza going to the bench an awful lot. Russ Marcinek now checks in.
Well, we talked a little bit in the pregame that they've got a lot of depth on their ball club. 8 or 9 guys, much like Bruce does, that they can go to. And when you get a quick game like this, you need that extra personnel coming in to relieve some of the starters.
IPFW by 2, 20-18. 12.5 remaining. Nothing there. They've come up short on a couple that should be darn good baskets. Doyle goes across. Martin working on the inside. Hebron had some company there. Maybe the mistake, he looked, Doug. He was right there, and he looked.
Well, he felt the defensive player on his hip right there, and if he got the ball, should have put it up right away, but he had to make sure that he was not going to come in and get him. A little hesitation, a little bit off on the shot. Neal Coyle, very aggressive, trying to follow up that missed shot, got called for his second.
Shuttling continues here by Bruce Pearl. In and out, in and out. Back in comes Jones. Reineke. USI let's go with the press, and our first look at Russ Marcinek. We have played 8 minutes, 12 minutes remaining first half.
And it is tough in the middle right now. Todd Jones battling right there with Sean Gibson.
Martin comes out, has Doyle right there. The trailer is Jones. Martin is hammered again. He has taken his shots this year going to the basket.
And that's the aggressiveness of this very strong defense from USI. You can see with the turnover right there, they get the ball up the court in a hurry. The numbers game right there, Craig had the angle going in. He knew he was going to draw the foul. He tried to get it up and get a three-point play.
in his junior season with USI. Out of New Salisbury. Misses the first end.
We talked about the struggles from the free throw line. As a team, USI shooting 72%. IPFW comes in right around 71%. Leading the way for USI, Torrance Eddy, 93%, 13 for 14. Craig Martin, usually one of the better shooters on the team, struggling a little bit, 23 for 30, 77% coming in.
1 for 2 for Craig, still unable to tie. USI now trailing by 1 at 20-19. 11:45 till halftime. Marcinek. Again, he gets crowded in the paint. Trying to find room is Shane Gibson. And the good thing about Indiana-Purdue Fort Wayne this year, Doug, is unlike years past, their bench is probably at its deepest it's ever been, definitely during Andy Piazza's tenure there.
And when you look at the leadership on this ball club, we talked 8 seniors on the ball club. That's going to give them a lot of experience, a lot of leadership out there. When you go 8, 9 deep on a bench, we've seen what Bruce has been able to do all season long. Having those numbers and having the confidence in the players out there to put them in.
3-on-2, Southern Indiana. Doyle has to play catch-up basketball. Nice save, Jeff. Got it back to Tyrone Tate. And fortunately, Russ Marcinek stepped in front of Tate to knock that back out. 20-19. Chance for USI to grab that lead back. Hebron takes a seat. Right back in, Chris Bowles.
And you expect to see Coach get Chris out of the game about 3 or 4 times a half. You don't want to run him down early in the ball game. You need him 2 or 3 spurts to where he can get over on the bench for a couple minutes, catch his breath.
Back outside, Tyrone Tate. Again, possibly thoughts of 3. And Jeff Doyle juggling right there all over him. Tom Patterson, our first look at him. Like I said, that bench is deep for Andy Piazza. Here's Craig Martin looking for his first 3, and he has it. USI grabs their first lead of the ball game. It is 22-20. That's Southern Indiana.
First 3-pointer tonight for USI. 1 for 3 now. Craig 1 for 1 in the ball game on the season. Doing a pretty good job, right around 48% from 3-point land.
Slow to start USI. They picked it right back up. They have controlled the last 10 minutes of this ball game. But this team won't lie down. They'll come right back at you. Boy, did he disagree. Shane Gibson is furious.
Offensive foul, basket will not count. A good move, drive without the ball. His teammates saw him cutting in there, and a good positioning underneath. Defense, that is the big key, I think, for USI right now, especially down along the baseline.
Second time now you take points away from Indiana-Purdue Fort Wayne on the offensive. USI leading 22-20, 10.5 till halftime. Seems like IPFW, they're reaching, Doug, just to knock that ball loose. What they're doing is they're knocking it back out of bounds, but they're still very, very touchy in there.
Very aggressive, and since they've gone to that man-to-man coverage, they've really tightened it up a little bit. When they came out in the zone, it's a little bit looser type of coverage. You're going to allow some of the perimeter game to float around a little bit, but you can see the man-to-man coverage. When a pass is being made, they're going to be right there around the ball.
Tyrone has Todd Jones right here. And Jones has Martin. Saw the room and took it. Again, he's fouled. You count the basket. And Martin goes back to the line.
That's leadership right there, and that's the knowledge of seeing the court. Saw an opening along the lane right there, took it, drove to the basket, got the foul, and now is going to the line.
24-20. Say the biggest USI lead. They just took it moments ago. Martin going to try to give him a 5-point lead. John Honstreeter getting set to check back in.
And a big foul there for USI. That was on number 54, Pat Murphy. Picked up his 3rd. So he'll be going to the bench probably for the final 10-17 here in the first half.
IPFW bringing 14 with them, Doug. We've seen all but 3 players now. Like I said, they're deep. There's that press. You've read about it. There it is. Shane Gibson. No doubt about that one. That's on us.
Foul will be on Todd Jones. That'll be his 2nd. Team foul number 6 on USI. And we've seen 2 types of presses so far here tonight. A full court press where they're really pulling everybody up. And then we've seen a semi-full court where they're getting man-to-man coverage, pressing as soon as the ball gets in bounds.
25-20 USI. This again, Shane Gibson to inbound. Tom Patterson recently checking in, turns it over again. 3 up for USI. Tyrone has that time. 8-footer, Tyrone. 27 and into the hands of Martin. That 3, yes! Andy Piazza has seen enough. Welcome to Pack Arena, Andy.
Kind of surprised he didn't get a timeout before that, but a good defensive play again. Stealing the ball in the inbound play. Another 3-pointer by Martin. USI up to their biggest lead now, 30-20.
That's a 10-point lead for Southern Indiana, and this is USI basketball's Saturday night on TV 52.
The action of top-ranked men's volleyball this weekend at IPFW. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations or call 481-6643.
I'm Duran Smith with Doug Ebbig, where it's 30-20 USI.
And all USI the past 2 or 3 minutes, they have really picked up the intensity a little bit, causing a lot of turnovers right now for IPFW. 7 so far here in the first half, only 4 for USI.
Andre Walton, a very frustrated IPFW. Like I said, USI controlled probably the last 8 to 10 minutes. A slow start, opening minute or so, where they fell behind early, and quickly, right back comes IPFW. 30-22.
That was a success they had early in the ball game. Good movement without the ball. Good job by Taylor right there, following his missed shot.
Tell you what, every game I see that kid play, I like him more and more. Russ Marcinek, been in there since stepping in. One of the first off the bench, and take it out of here, says Tyrone Tate.
Aggressive everywhere on the court right now. Tyrone picks up his first foul. Team foul number 7. On street to the line right now for 2 shots.
Taking a look at other scores today, Doug. Around the nation here in the Midwest. Big Ten basketball. Boy, what happened to Penn State? 105-57. They're not as good in basketball as they are in football.
Well, I think especially this year, they're going to have a hard time fitting in. This is their first season in the Big Ten Conference. And Indiana gave them a rude awakening and welcoming them.
105-57 was the final on that one this afternoon. 32-22. USI by 10. 9:17 till halftime. The impressive freshman Taylor and back Bowles. Thought about Martin. Martin heads underneath. And Tyrone, again, a 15-footer, just short. Good rebounding team, IPFW, Doug. They've
got the size inside, and as we talked about before, key to rebounding is getting position. They're averaging about 36 rebounds a game. USI, on the other hand, almost 44.
With a 10-point lead, another foul called. And the 1-and-1 also issued.
Fouls on Duran Hebron, his first. Team foul number 8.
Take a look at coming into tonight. And the numbers are impressive for USI in the conference 2-0. With St. Joe, that's heading into tonight. St. Joe was 10-1 overall coming into a Saturday night. USI 8-2. IPFW 9-1. The other one that sticks out is, of course, Kentucky Wesleyan. They're only sent back to USI 1 week ago tonight. Lewis off to a horrible start at 1-9, along with Ashland at 2-8. Remember when those two teams were right on up there, even a season ago.
Chris Bowles' third basket tonight. 6 points now for Chris.
By 12 USI. 34-22. And again, a loose ball. Andre Walton been in and out twice. On the outside, Sean Gibson. And Walton seems to be everywhere when he's in there. And one going USI's way. You know, the students are starting to roll back into town this weekend, Doug, and not a bad crowd for what was a Saturday afternoon out here. Not capacity, but getting close.
Well, they knew it was going to be a very good ball game, especially with Fort Wayne coming in ranked this week number 4 in the country in Division II polls. Taylor again from the baseline.
36-22, USI over number 4, Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. Last weekend, we beat number 2, Kentucky Wesleyan. Doyle and Aldridge getting set to check back in for USI.
And so far this year, Bruce Pearl and the Eagles have had success against ranked teams. Grand Canyon preseason ranked number 7. went down in the tournament earlier this year, and as Darren just said, last Saturday night a week ago, a big win over number 2 at that time, Kentucky Wesleyan.
Boy, the hammering underneath continues, doesn't it?
Well, IPFW now trying to force the ball inside just a little bit more, using that height in there. USI doing a good job trying to converge on that man-to-man coverage. That last foul on Scott Taylor, that's his first. Gibson back to the line, 10 points, 0 for 1 so far from the free throw line.
Some of the fans helping out behind the basket. I like that, Doug.
That is really collegiate basketball atmosphere. You see so many big games on network TV where you've got a lot of students in a section, and that's one of their jobs, is try to distract the free throw shooters from the other team.
Let him be the 6th man. It's not quite Duke, but getting closer all the time. Like it. Back on top is Reinecke and Chris Bowles. Like I talked about the hammering, and poor little Andre Walton sank the basket anyway.
He is a scrapper. That's really the 3rd time he's got down along the baseline trying to get a bucket. Drew the foul there on Chris. The basket counts, so Walton to the line.
Andre Walton out of Saginaw, Michigan. Most hailing from Indiana here in IPFW. 2 locals in Chad North and Doug Reinecke. 36-25, USI by 11, 7.5 till halftime. Doyle finding again Hebron. There's the big reach of Bowles. Still the tallest on the floor tonight at 6'10". Wide open here. That's your easy 2. They won't miss those. Ashland had a problem just connecting passes like that the other night. What we're seeing here is not only good passing, IPFW is able to finish it off very well.
Well, it's kind of been a spurtsy type of movement like that. They had success early in the game and then struggled a little bit, a couple turnovers after that. But now, with that full court coverage, that's what you do when you give something up like that.
There's Chris Bowles. Maybe a struggle in the opening minute or 2. USI back up by 11. 38-27.
The thing that's impressive about the Mastodons, they are so big, but yet we've seen they can run the court well. When you get that full court pressure, you send a couple of guys deep, and then you get the open man.
Marcinek finds Walton. Walton sees the room. Doesn't need much. Again, he checks in at only 5'8", one of the smallest in the GLVC. That is traveling. I thought maybe, just maybe, Shane Gibson was going to be called for a little push underneath, but they caught him with steps.
From our angle, it appeared the contact was made, but apparently the walk by Duran happened before contact.
38-27. USI once trailed by 8. It's up by the 11. Walton back to the outside. This is Gibson, Shane Gibson. Shane wearing number 24. Brother Sean wears 41. Cuts the lead at 9. Again, this is Aldridge. And Aldridge again, like I've been saying, everybody getting hammered underneath.
Foul's going to be on Doug Reinecke. That'll be his 2nd. But that's a freshman mentality right there, moving the ball to the bucket. They saw an opening. You're seeing the same thing defensively for both ball clubs because of the quickness and the press from back court like that. You're going to have some openings up in the front court, and Sean saw an opening right there, took advantage of it, and drove.
Check it out. Early appearance for Troy Tornado. I like this.
When you get in a game like this, you got to use as many people from the bench as you can, and Troy has kind of been a substitute late in the ball games, making his 6th appearance on the season. 57% shooting from the field, averaging about 2 points a game.
Tonight's game calling for a tall order anyway, and Troy Tornado adds plenty of height, Doug.
6'8" and a senior, and he knows what to expect in matchups like this. He's been involved before, so he's right now just in there to give Bruce Pearl some valuable minutes, also look for some good defensive play along the baseline.
Had many, many great years at North High School. One of the locals in his senior year, Troy Tornado. 9-point lead. Doyle all alone, one actually behind him. Wasn't bothered. You count it and you go back to the free throw line. Way to go, Jeff.
And I think when you look at the halftime outlook for both coaches, this is one part of the game they're going to both look at. The way that they've been able to beat the full court press, both teams having success with easy buckets.
This is simply us in control right now, Doug. And our better half so far this season has been the second half.
And that's a good look for the second half coming up, knowing that you can put on a spurt like this, have the success, and again, the very aggressive defensive coverage, forcing a lot of turnovers right now for IPFW.
How different has USI been in the second half? Well, in 9 games, the Eagles have outscored their opponents only by 55 points. Still not bad. In the second half, Doug, they've outscored their opponents by 138. Talk about a difference. In other words, they've outscored their opponents in the second half 520 to 382. Who controls the second half after 9 games?
Last foul on Troy Tornata, trying to get position in there defensively against Honstreeter. That's his first. John Honstreeter, the 6'6" senior, the line first time tonight.
Like I said, I'm impressed with Andy's job of keeping everybody in there. I've seen everybody but Tony Martin, Chad North, and KC Runyon. We've seen the rest of the roster.
Honstreeter on the season, 83% from the line. Limited action, 5 for 6. He has appeared in all 11 games at this point, starting 3 of those for Andy Piazza.
Granada takes a seat back in Bowles, trying to cut the lead to 10, where USI stands by 10, 43-33, and 5.5 until halftime. Stu Sheets finding room in Bowles, 15-footer.
Great pass right there by Aldridge. Kind of a touch pass. As soon as he got the ball, he saw Chris along the lane.
Fans start to whoop it up for Southern Indiana. Like I said, the students are coming back into town this weekend as school once again begins on Monday. There's some more rough stuff, and there's not one in our favor.
Back-end play right there, John Honstreeter trying to get position in the lane after he got the ball. Appeared he might have walked. Chris trying to play good defense right there, picks up his second.
Pearl not happy. A 12-point lead for USI, but here again is Honstreeter. Honstreeter out of Seymour, Indiana. Bowles back out. 5:16 remaining, and Pearl going with Sheets, Taylor, Hebron, Aldridge, and Neil Coyle. Got the lead to 11. This has been about the gap, though, Doug, in the past 6 minutes or so. USI by about 11.
After that big surge where they took the lead and really put it on with a couple three-pointers from Craig Martin. Back and forth, right around that 10-point margin.
Stu Sheets. He has seen plenty of playing time in the first 9 or 10 games, hasn't he?
And he's one that's really going to be a floor leader out there. Big three right there from Sean Aldridge. Stu Sheets is in there basically as a ball handler. He's not going to get a lot of points on the board, but he's going to give you good, solid offense.
What you sometimes tend to forget about with USI basketball this year, they are still basically a young team. Very
young. When you look at the seniors, Deron Hebron, Troy Tornata, Chris Bowles, the only 3 on the ball club, so the nucleus of this club is going to be back next year.
48-37. Hebron has Sheets. The turnaround, that is Stu. Impressed with him. You just thought baseball was all this kid had? Well, St. Louis, the Billikens looked at him, Doug.
And anytime you can get points from him, that's going to be an added bonus. You can see working along the paint in there with the big men. Good inlet pass.
Trying to get it back. Tyrone Tate getting set to check in for the Eagles. You want to enjoy this now, Doug, because like I said, after tonight, USI will hit the road. Thursday night, they will be at the Dungeon Civic Center. Nice place to play basketball, by the way. At 6:30 our time, Kentucky State. 1 week from tonight, they will take on Bellarmine. I think you and I will make our annual trip to Bellarmine and watch a little bit of USI basketball next weekend.
Hit the brewery for some buffalo wings. Last foul on Shane Gibson, a reach-in foul. That is his third. So now Andy Piazza has on the bench Shane Gibson with 3. Also Pat Murphy with 3.
We will be fine this year if we don't run out of gas again.
We didn't run out last year.
We almost did.
Almost doesn't count. Hand grenades and washers.
51-37. Marcinek. And there again, the pesky Walton, the disadvantage of being 5'8". I think you just saw that in USI's basketball.
Well, 5'8" going up against 6'1", and you can see the speed of Walton along with the speed of Tate right there. He got the rebound, took it all the way up court. But both have great leaping ability. That time a little bit more of an advantage to the 6'1" Tate. Back to the top, this is Coyle, and this is Tyrone Tate. 51-37, USI. Taylor, this is a 17-footer. Got to benefit from the back of the window. As you said before, Darren, each game it seems like Scott Taylor picks it up just a little bit more. He had a great game the other night, 5 for 7 from the field, 12 points in the win against Ashland. So far today, 3 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line, 8 points.
Right here is Scott Simmons. He's been in and out twice also for Andy Piazza. And Andy, who had the big lead early, or a bigger lead, more success in the pack in the opening minutes, finds himself trailing 53-39.
And you know, Sean Gibson is going to get his points. Preseason All-American, 15 right now. 6 of 7 from the field.
Tyrone Tate finding Hebron. And there again was Holmstreeter. Didn't bother Hebron. Actually, he was hit in the shoulder, and he still made the shot.
And kind of surprised that a foul was not called. A very aggressive slap right there by John. But Duran had the presence of mind going to the bucket. He got the bucket.
Foul called. I think they said Tyrone Tate. I did not see that.
Reach-in foul as Holmstreeter was going to the basket. The foul was called, and then contact was made after that with Neil Coyle, but the foul already been called. So Holmstreeter back to the line, a perfect 4 for 4 tonight.
Remind you, coming up at halftime, we will talk once again to USI Lady Eagles basketball. Their victory 78-72 over visiting IPFW. Like Kathy Lauk said back on Thursday night, they owe them 4 times since she's been here. There was one. They play at IPFW on February 4th.
And the way that they're playing right now, I believe they're going to be getting a lot of paybacks this year. Everybody, as a team, much like the men have this year, working together, they have a lot of confidence right now.
Wide open here is Taylor, and there he is. What he does maybe better than anything, he's got that leaping ability. When he's that close, a little showtime for the 3,000 plus here tonight.
He is so quick. I mean, you can see that slender build right now. He knows how to run the floor, finds that opening along the baseline, and then it's up to his teammates. They have been able to find him more times than not this year.
It is 57-42. I don't want to say USI comfortable because that is not comfortable. It's way, way too early. But the thought of USI being a much better team in the second half kind of gives you a warm security blanket. Yeah. Missing Coyle, and he is fouled.
Foul on Russ Marcinek, the 5'9" sophomore. That is his first. Neil to the line for the first time tonight. 2 shots on the season, 4 of 8 from the charity stripe.
Like I said back on Thursday, me, you, and about 5,000 others are glad he decided after all to stay here at USI.
Well, we talked a little bit Thursday now about what he did last year as a freshman. Got off to a real good start and then got hurt, ended up getting redshirted. And I think with those first 3 or 4 games last year, we saw the talent that was on the floor, and we knew that he was going to be a very good player, and it is good to have him back in a USI uniform.
I don't want to say this is basically the same team as last year, but in many aspects it is. We didn't lose all that much. A lot of new faces, and this team, like we've been talking about, gelling early, Doug. And like I always said, that was in question throughout the summertime and what have you.
Same team physically, but when you look at the mental approach to a ball game and the way that they believe in themselves, totally turn around from last year. They know what to expect out there, and with Coach Bruce Pearl and his coaching staff coming in, bringing in a new system, a couple new faces, but basically the same type of personnel. They're just playing a different style of basketball, and a lot of that has to do with believing in yourself.
What kind of guy is Bruce Pearl? Always hyped about his team. He'll stop and talk to anyone. He relates very good, I think, with the people here at USI. Someone once said the most popular man on campus, that the students really like him.
Well, he is a PR person, and that is one thing foremost that is important to a college basketball program. You have to get out, you have to talk about your players, you talk about your program, and so far Bruce has done that.
This is Martin for 3. Yep, you better believe it. 61-43 USI. 13
points now for Craig, 3 from 3 from three-point land.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you're watching USI take on the number 4 team in the entire country, and USI is not yet ranked.
If they continue playing like this, and right now 61-43, an 18-point lead, there's no way they're going to keep them out of the poll.
They have beaten number 2 Kentucky Wesleyan. At the time, they beat number 7 Grand Canyon. And a victory here, still a long way to go, would be over number 4 IPFW.
And Holmstreeter making a career here in the first half at the free throw line. 6 for 7 now. Total of 10 points, going for 11.
Good, you jinxed him. Good job, Doug. Now you do that again next time he steps up there. This is Neil Coyle. Mr. Three-pointer Martin gets it off the Tate. 1:24 till halftime. Craig on the outside. Doyle. And USI very patient to wait for the shot. There were times last year where they tried to hurry it and all but botch things up, so to speak.
Well, they were kind of in transition all year last year, not knowing what to expect as far as who was going to be playing, who was not. It seemed like the offense kind of sputtered at times. They had some shining moments, but last year, a problem they had was putting two halves together. They would have a good first half and then come out and stink up the court in the second half or vice versa.
Final 50 seconds here at the pack. There's 26 seconds left on the shot clock, so a little difference here. Everybody getting to stand up for USI as they're trying to mount a possible 20-point lead before halftime over number 4 IPFW. Tyrone just falling short. USI missing the last two. 61-44. 25 seconds here. It's going to be a long halftime for Piazza and the boys.
They've got some work to do, and for Coach Pearl and USI, basically tell them, come out and play the exact same type of ball game you played here in the first half. They had a little bit of trouble with the press as far as IPFW a couple times with some turnovers, but they're getting the shots underneath, and right now they're hitting the shots from outside as well.
Last shot belongs to IPFW along with the last bucket. These are your USI Screaming Eagles over number 4 Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne here at halftime. Our score reads 61-46. Doug?
A great first half for USI. They did pretty much like they did against Ashland, working the ball around the perimeter, finding the open people. Good job on the baseline. Scott Taylor moving well without the ball. They're also hitting the shots from outside.
We will talk to Laura Perrick and Annette Elkin. USI ladies basketball here at halftime when USI basketball Saturday night continues.
How does it all work? From the smallest particle to the largest galaxy. What keeps it all going? Find out on The Mechanical Universe, a remarkable series that presents the latest in computer animation and video demonstrations. It's a fascinating introduction to the world of physics, hosted by Dr. David Goodstein of the California Institute of Technology. Discover The Mechanical Universe for yourself.
How to Move America takes a look at the major technological improvements that have made America's freight railway system safer than ever.
The 90s. A decade filled with challenge to our economy, to our environment, to the very quality of American life. Can America's transportation system respond to these challenges? One vital part of it can. That part is our rail freight system. While nobody was paying much attention, it has been moving faster than you might think. We've invested heavily in research, and the investment is paying off. We've made hundreds of technological breakthroughs, yet to a casual observer, a train still looks like a train. But let's look closer. Just for starters, we reinvented the wheel, the freight car wheel. After years of engineering, analysis, and testing, a new wheel is now standard in the railroad industry. This new wheel has a new contour that reduces wear 2 ways. There's less wear on the rail and less on the wheel itself. The new wheel is tougher too, thanks to a new heat-treating process that enhances life and reliability. And these new wheels are riding on new, better track. Some 100,000 miles of our system now consists of jointless, continuously welded rail. The benefit, smoother ride, less wheel wear, and less track wear. And above the rails and the wheels are even more improvements. Our customers' freight rides in an array of specialized modern cars pulled by the finest and most efficient diesel locomotives in the world. Behind these advanced locomotives are more innovations. Innovations like intermodal service, truck trailers and containers moving by rail. Intermodal is the fastest growing segment of the transportation business, especially our double stack operations. In 1989, railroads handled about 6 million intermodal loads, and the service is still growing. Sometimes intermodal containers are double stacked, and some even ride right on the rails. Rail intermodal means a sealed container can move from factory to truck to train and sometimes to a ship as well. Intermodal has an enviable record for efficiency and damage-free handling. Intermodal truck trailers riding the rails are far safer and more fuel efficient than the same trailers riding on our highways. But good as intermodal is, it's getting better. Here's one radical new idea being developed. Because it will ride on rails, we call it a train, but it will be like no train you've ever seen. It's a single moving platform with power units at both ends for smooth acceleration and braking. Another innovation is a new loading technique that fills both ends of the platform from the middle. It's faster and more efficient than previous systems, and it's in the final stages of development right now. Other new technologies are even closer. This is the Association of American Railroads Test Center at Pueblo, Colorado. It's the most advanced facility of its kind in the world. Here, day in and day out, trains and component systems are analyzed, tested, and tested again. It is here that most new developments are perfected. Developments like the new track loading vehicle, designed to help create stronger, more stable tracks. Today's railroads are bristling with new equipment and innovations. But how are the rail companies using those innovations to better serve their customers? That's one of the challenges of the 90s, and that's where one of the world's most extensive and sophisticated computer systems comes in. Computers link virtually every aspect of today's rail freight operations. From more precisely controlled freight yards to instantaneous tracking of shipments, computers help both shippers and carriers. Shipments can be tracked door to door, even when they move over more than one rail system. Bills of lading have been streamlined. Questions can be answered almost instantly. Today, our freight railroads have advanced computerization to the point where railroads can function not just as a delivery system, but as an integral part of the manufacturing assembly line as well. The concept is called just-in-time. We didn't invent it, but we've taught the concept new tricks. Here's one example. Railroads coordinate the movement of auto parts from 7 states, plus Canada and Mexico, creating for General Motors a rolling supply line that serves the assembly plant in North Tarrytown, New York. In 16 months, this system has handled over 10,000 carloads with a 99.7% on-time record. We also haul away the finished vehicles. The benefit for GM is guaranteed service. The benefit to the railroads is millions of dollars worth of new business that might otherwise have gone to trucks. Make no mistake, we're only at the beginning of the railroading revolution of the 1990s. Coming soon is a railroad control system that could make our current technology look like smoke signals. It's called ATCS, for Advanced Train Control System, a system so precise it will be able to pinpoint a train within 3 feet. Here's how ATCS works. Locomotives, dispatch centers, trackside devices, and even track workers are united through a data communications network. An onboard computer will keep the engineer informed of his precise location and optimum speed at all times. This information will also be made available to the central dispatch computer and the dispatcher, where movement orders and permissions are issued to the engineer and conductor. Integrated with ATCS will be onboard diagnostic equipment to further increase safety and reduce downtime by detecting problems before they become serious. Here's another railroad innovation few people see, but which greatly benefits rail shippers. It's one of the most sophisticated rail dispatching centers in all the world. Imagine a video panel the size of a football field. Well, this center has 2 of them. Together, they provide a continuous display of an entire railroad system 22,000 miles long. Traffic flow is vastly simpler. Each individual freight train can be pinpointed in seconds and used to its maximum efficiency. For the railroad and its shippers, the benefits are enormous. Yet this is only part of a vast, largely invisible technological revolution in rail freight. Innovation, testing, and plain hard work have already achieved for the railroads a level of service that a generation ago would have seemed like science fiction. And just as our freight service has improved, so has America's passenger service. Today's Amtrak trains are so spectacular, they're attracting tourists out of their own automobiles and onto the rails again. Passenger or freight, the new technologies are paying off. How about damage-free intermodal delivery records approaching 99%? We've got them. And an on-time delivery record that is competitive with any other mode. Today, our freight railroads do more, a lot more than ever before. And they do it better, a lot better. And they do it efficiently and very safely. Check the facts. You'll find that ton-mile for ton-mile, rail freight is 3 times safer in terms of human life than its main competition, big trucks. Rail freight is more fuel efficient too, which means, inevitably, trains are kinder to our much abused environment. They pollute less, much less than trucks. They don't crowd our highways, and they never, ever leave a pothole. Yet for all its advantages, America's rail freight system is not being used to its maximum capacity. Right now, without adding a single mile of new track, our rail freight system is ready and very able to handle the extra freight that, should it continue to move on our highways, threatens to destroy them while also rendering the air we breathe unbreathable. The new decade presents our nation with enormous challenges. With tough questions about our environment, our highways, and the ability of our economy to compete. America's rail system can help meet these challenges. Railroads today move a significant proportion of America's goods. We can do more, much more, and we can do it better, more safely, and with less negative impact on the environment than the competition. We can help America take advantage of the global opportunities of the new decade and the new century.
Welcome you back to the campus of the University of Southern Indiana with Doug Emig. I'm Duran Smith, 61-46. We've got 20 more to go, Doug.
Very good first half for USI. 59% from the field, 22 for 37. 4 of 6 from three-point land, 67%. 13 for 18 from the stripe, 72%. They had 22 rebounds. IPFW, 63% from the field. A better shooting, but less shots, 19 for 30. They were 0 for 6 from three-point land, 8 for 16 for 50% from the charity stripe. They had 17 rebounds.
I'm expecting IPFW to come out on the attack very quickly, but they're 0 for 1 early here in the second half. Try to get it to Bowles, and Walton tried to hold on. Nice effort again by Andre. Just couldn't hold on.
He is quick. He's going to be just about everywhere on the court that the ball's going to be. Leading scorers in the first half, Craig Martin leading the way for USI, 13 points. 10 points apiece for Sean Aldridge, Chris Bowles. Leading the way for IPFW, Sean Gibson, 15.
Coyle finding room again, Doyle. Pearl going with the starting 5 of Tate, Coyle, Doyle, Bowles, and Martin. 61-46 USI. Opening minutes, second half, all kinds of room there for Coyle, and you don't shut him down often. That time Shane Gibson did just that. Here's little Andre, and he did it again.
9 points now for Walton. He's 3 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from the line. And you can see USI has slowed it down a little bit, but here's that pressure defense again from IPFW. Not a lot of problem for either club breaking that press. It's a matter of getting the ball up court and throwing the ball away.
USI's lead cut to 13. Behind the back, there he is. Martin to Bowles. That worked even last year.
picture-perfect assist right there, and that's what Craig does so well. He's the leader out there on the floor by example. He runs the floor well, gets the ball to the open men.
Another turnover here. Martin was complaining to the referee up floor about Andre Walton.
I wasn't exactly sure what he said. I saw he was motioning. That's 3 times, and apparently he's being fouled underneath there, and the officials are not calling it. That last foul on Sean Gibson, that is his second. Foul problems for IPFW. They've got 3 with 3 fouls. Shane Gibson, Doug Reinecke, and also Pat Murphy, 3 apiece back in the first half.
63-48. We are in the opening 2 minutes of the second half, and USI is trying to go to 9-2. Some room there, baseline. Scramble for that basketball, and it's picked up by Scott Simmons. Andre again. This kid impresses me. The best 5'8" player in the GLVC.
He comes in the 3rd leading scorer on this ball club, about 12 points a game. Chris Balls again. If they get him hot here in the second half, you can pretty much close the door. They need to keep getting him the ball while he's got the hot hand.
USI outscoring their opponents again in the second half by a wide margin of 138. Right now it's 65-50. USI has their 15-point lead back. Back into the game comes Scott Taylor.
He had a very good first half, 10 points. Along with Sean Aldridge and Chris Balls, he was 4 of 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line. And you can see that man-to-man defense causing problems again on the baseline for Fort Wayne. That last turnover, number 13 on the game. Outside,
this is Jones. Taylor, right there again. Impressed with him on the baseline also. Right underneath. It's a great job. 2-on-1. And another easy 2. They give and go to Gibson.
17 points now for Sean. You can see that fast-paced tempo has started up again. Looked like Tyrone Tate caught an eye, or a finger to the eye as he was driving the lane. He went ahead and put the shot up. No foul was called. The shot missed. The ball back out to IPFW.
Hebron checks back in. Stu Sheets here again. The fast subbing in and out by Bruce Pearl. 65-52 USI. We have another high-scoring ball game, Doug.
Expecting that coming in. Talking a little bit back in the pregame, we knew both clubs put a lot of points on the board. 92 points a game for IPFW coming in, 95 a game for USI.
Shane Gibson trying to find room here, and Sean Gibson. Brothers connect for 2.
And that's going to happen, I think, especially when we see Coach Pearl take Chris to the bench like that, just to give him a little bit of breather. When you look at Gibson, he's 6'7". He's going to have shorter men on him, and he's going to be able to back him in like that.
Here's Martin. Scott Taylor wants to go back outside. 2 of your best options outside. Here's another. Todd Jones! Todd Jones, 3 more.
5 points now for Todd. He was 1 for 1 from the field back in the first half.
68-54. USI over number 4 in the country, IPFW. Trying to find some more room here in Sean Gibson. Slap back outside. USI going to force another turnover. No, Walton got it just in time, right before the timeline. Wide open here, Sean Gibson. You don't want to leave him open anywhere.
He hits the majority of the shots he takes, 63% from the field coming into tonight's game.
Martin, another 3 on the way.
4 for 4 for Craig from three-point land, 16 points now.
There's Scott Simmons. 71-58. Inside here is Hebron. Coming right back here. Nice save by Martin right in front of us, so that would have hit Doug right in the head.
I had my hand up.
Here's Taylor. You betcha. You betcha. 73-58.
I tell you what, on most ball clubs, Scott Taylor would be in the starting lineup, but because USI has so much depth, you know he's going to get a lot of playing time, and right now his confidence is at an all-time high.
I will send a copy of this tape to everybody voting this week in the nation's top 20.
You got a lot of dubbing ahead of you, boy. There's no way. Everybody knows that. They don't have to see a copy of this tape. Beating Wesleyan and also beating Fort Wayne, there's no way they're going to be able to keep them out.
If they beat Fort Wayne, but it looks pretty darn good right now at 74-58. I have seen Fort Wayne turn on the juice in the second half time and time again.
Getting a little bit more physical underneath that last foul on Sean Gibson. He had a discussion with an official, and Piazza, the coach from Fort Wayne, not real happy about the call either.
Back on the outside here is Coyle. And right here is Aldridge. Would have been another three. Taylor the follow-up. Hebron right there. Taken down to the ground. A little push by Mr. Pat Murphy. He's so big he just kind of breathes on you and you fall over.
Foul on Duran, that is his third. Only the first team foul here for Southern Indiana in the second half. 3 so far for IPFW.
74-58 USI. 15 minutes remaining in our second half. Andy Liebert making his second appearance tonight. Off the foot that time of Aldridge. Chris Bowles getting set to check back in. He's in for Hebron.
This is fun.
Makes you proud at times to be a USI basketball fan. We had to sit through trying times last year. As well did the team and everyone involved.
That might be a little understatement. But as I said back in the first half, we talk about the similarities of this ball club. Physically, you've got basically the same personnel out there. It's the mental aspect and their approach to the game. They know that they've got confidence. Movement of the ball, a good example right there, followed by Chris.
And Taylor almost had this one. This is like like the ladies, a completely different team.
And it's really hard to understand how it can all happen within a season. A lot of times when you get a new coach coming into a program, it might take them a year really for everybody to adjust. The starters that are used to the old system might not be able to adjust to the new system right away, but they have done a job all season long and they continue to shine.
15-point lead for USI, 14 and a half remaining here in our second half. This is Sean Gibson, brother Shane. He has help on top in Marcinick. And Shane will take it, throw up a garbage shot. Really no option. He had no one to pass it to. Took his try at the hoop, nothing there. Look here to Doyle.
That was a good defensive play. He got Neal on his hip, got around him, but good backside help from Chris.
Coyle this time picking up the offensive, and back it comes for IPFW. This has got to be the toughest trip for anybody to make in the GLVC. The road partners Kentucky Wesleyan. You go to the Sports Center in Owensboro on Thursday, and then you've got to come here.
I think most teams look at it that way. When you come down to play Kentucky Wesleyan and USI, you know it's going to be back-to-back battles because both teams are so tough at home. Wesleyan, a conditionally number 2 powerhouse as far as Division II. And USI, as we talked about, a lot of success so far this season. And with Coach Pearl and the numbers he's got coming back next year, it's going to be that way for a while.
Long bomb down here to Sean Gibson. He almost didn't have that. A little stutter step to the basket. It's good for 2, though. 76-63 USI.
And that was a breakdown defensively. We talked a little bit about that in the first half. When you get that full court press, you really need to get somebody back as a safety in case of a long pass like that. A good inbounds pass just over the head of Chris.
I want to thank my halftime guests, Annette Elkin, Laura Perrick. USI Lady Eagles basketball, they are back in action on Monday night against Southern Illinois. That is a rubber game. USI lost the first game of the season there. Turned around and beat them in the IUPUI Classic. And they beat him for a third time in the 92-93 season. Monday night at 7:30. That is right here at the PAC Lady Eagles basketball.
Last foul on Sean Aldridge on a charging foul. Aggressive foul, and a coach doesn't mind seeing that. He saw an opening along the lane right there. Got a good drive, just good defensive positioning by Mastodons underneath.
76-63. You know, I was talking to Annette Elkin at halftime, and she brought up the point is we're trying to go to the NCAA postseason tournament. That would have been a joke the last 4 or 5 years. Doug, they are realistically saying that now.
Well, I think probably the last couple of years especially, they knew that the program was struggling. Chancellor Dugan in her second year now as the head coach of the women, and I think the girls have really adjusted to her new system coming in. They did a good job last year, but this year they've got a little different personnel coming in, but they've got the same type of offensive attack that they had last year. They're having more success this year.
Tyrone Tate. Two-man press, Walton right there. As a physical game even happens here at midcourt. What in the world is Andre Walton doing?
We really haven't seen an effect like this year with the quick, fast-paced games and a game like this, the high intensity. Really our first opportunity this year to see a lot of jabbering going on. They refer to it as talking trash on the court. And I'm sure that was what the call was right there. The foul was called on Walton, a blocking foul, that's his first. And then a little confrontation between he and Tyrone. And I believe Andre Walton has been assessed a technical.
Welcome to USI Basketball, IPFW. This is how you play basketball. We're teaching the number 4 team in the country how to play basketball.
And I think the USI fans have been waiting a long time for a program like this to have the success that they've had this year. And as I said before, this is just fun basketball.
77-63. Salt in the wounds, or Martin says, take that.
And it probably might not be a bad idea at this point for Andy Piazza to take a timeout, just to get his group together, kind of get everybody's collective thoughts back in the ball game, but he's not going to do it.
68 or 78-63. It's that much of a gap. Jeff Doyle. Wide open here is Martin. Martin for 3. He's been so hot all season long from the outside.
His first miss there tonight. A perfect 4 for 4 before that last shot.
Trying to find room, and Shane Gibson has the 15-footer.
And this Fort Wayne team is not one that's going to back down, even if they're behind. They led at halftime over Kentucky Wesleyan on Saturday, and then Wesleyan had a very good second half, outscoring them 38-32, as we said in the pregame. A three-point basket by Arneson right around the buzzer gave Kentucky Wesleyan that 3-point win.
There is Chris Bowles for 2 more. With 12:35 remaining. This is Coyle underneath. And throw one away. A break for IPFW.
Good idea, and really USI has had a lot of success on those inbound plays underneath the basket.
We welcome those viewers from TV Channel 6 in Fort Wayne, also enjoying USI Fort Wayne basketball this week. We return there on February 4th, and don't you think that's going to be a war?
That will be probably one of the tougher matchups USI is going to face in the second half of the season, that along with the trip over to Owensboro.
78-65. And again, Tyrone finds Coyle, who finds Martin. Bowles right there, and has some room on the baseline. Bowles has missed the baseline shot now twice. 12-10 remaining. That's regulation. And like I said, this game not over yet. Big shots from the outside. Still short. Martin with the rebound. 78-65 USI.
And I think USI has really worked a little bit. That was probably one of the things they talked about at halftime. Offensive rebounds for IPFW. They want to cut those down. You can see doing a good job in there getting position.
In and out. USI missing the past couple. Martin has it right back, though. USI can rebound each end of the court very well this year. You could nitpick a year ago. This is Coyle, who finds Bowles. He has the room and the height at 6'10", like I said, tallest on the court. Another 15-point lead for USI, 80-65.
18 points now for Chris, 10 at halftime.
Wide open. Again is Shane Gibson. He's missing the outside shot. And down goes Coyle.
That's communication right there. You could see both Coyle and Bowles pounding that defensive board right there. They both had a hand on the ball. Coyle trying to grab a hold of it as he was falling towards the baseline.
Look at Piazza. He's out on the court.
Well, Piazza's out, one thing for an injury, but he came out more or less to talk to the officials. He is not pleased with the way this game has progressed.
Like I said, USI in Fort Wayne on February 4th, still a ways away. We will be there as well. And you will see that game on February 6th. We will go on the road twice this year. You'll see 2 games from the road. The Fort Wayne game on the 4th. And, of course, Kentucky Wesleyan. We'll air that after the final Bruce Pearl show of the 92-93 season. 80-65 USI right now. 11-11 remaining. Is again Stu Sheets. A little bit more of a press by IPFW in the second half, Doug.
Well, they had some success with that back in the first half, much like USI. It's basically a semi-full court press where they're not pulling everybody up to press, but they've got 2 or 3 guys on the inbounder, and once they get the ball in, they're going to try a trap situation.
Here is Chris Bowles with his room in the paint. Wide open Stu Sheets. This is a 16-footer. There is Stu.
2 for 2, 4 points. And we talked back in the first half, he's not really in there for his points. It's more or less as a ball handler and running the floor as the point guard.
Long outside shot, hit the support at the top. I am surprised, Doug, that Andy Piazza has not taken a timeout right now. The gap has been there. 15 points or better for USI.
Well, I really thought the perfect time to do it was right after the technical call on Walton.
There's Martin. There's 3 more. 85-65. USI's biggest lead is 20 points.
21 points now for Martin. 5 for 6 from three-pointer.
IPFW falling short practically at the buzzer at the Sports Center in Owensboro on Thursday night. On a Herb Arneson three-pointer. That was only 3 of 6 that night for Herbie.
Last foul called on Chris Bowles. That is his 3rd.
And that new guy they got over there by the name of Atudis for Kentucky Wesleyan is doing quite well, too. We have got a timeout here on the floor. And check this out. USI by 20 over number 4, Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. You're watching USI basketball.
How can you find out when lightning may strike? And how do you count the fish in the sea? How can you tell if a child is growing normally, if baseball is getting better, or traffic is getting worse? How do you know about stock market trends, the risk of cholesterol, the history of witchcraft, or the future of spacecraft? With statistics, that's how. And how can you find out about statistics? With the new Statistics series, Against All Odds.
Where do you turn to find help for an elderly person you love? Call the Elder Care Locator at 1-800-677-1116.
Back to the campus of the University of Southern Indiana with Doug Emmett. I am Darren Smith, 85-65. Doug?
And just when you think IPFW might be coming back, they got it down to about 11-point lead for USI, but then they come right back with that aggressive play. Craig Martin, the man so far. 21 points, 5 for 6 from three-point land.
Doug Reinke. Take a look at the student section behind Reinke. They switch sides.
They do that.
And they are 2 for 2 that time. 20-point lead for USI. Right back comes Andre Walton. Into the outside. Longer 3. That's a big one, Doug. Shane Gibson.
He's been struggling a little bit from his outside. That's his 2nd three-pointer today. 2 for 4 here in the second half.
And USI calls a timeout. No one to go to there. Still works. USI by 17. A long 9:46 to play. We'll be back with more USI basketball right here on TV 52.
There is a need in your own hometown. Please Join your local chapter.
For over 2 millennia, Western society has generated a rich visual tradition of painting, sculpture, and architecture. What do these images mean? How can we understand them? Art of the Western world will take you on an exciting journey that will suggest answers to these and other questions. Beginning in ancient Greece and ending on the brink of the future, it will examine many of mankind's most enduring artistic achievements.
'68 back out at USI's Pack Arena with Doug Emig. I'm Duran Smith. 9:46 away from USI, going to 9-2. And they will then head into Frankfort, Kentucky, the old Dungeon Civic Center, on Thursday night to take on Kentucky State.
And a real smart timeout called right there by USI. They saw trap pressure defense. They were very close to getting a 5-second call, so instead of a turnover giving the ball back to Fort Wayne, took a good timeout and talked it over.
85-68 back here again is Tyrone Tate. And a 15-footer in and out. This is a big possession for Fort Wayne. They're going to come right back at you. Easy one falls. Almost didn't. Hung there for a while. And Sean Gibson has 2 more.
I think for IPFW, he's going to have to really get the ball inside a lot more. He's got 10 points here in the second half, 25 now for the game.
Last 5 points to Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. The Mastodons trail by 15. 9 minutes remaining. And back here again is Todd Jones. Aldridge, good passing. Try to get it inside to Bowles. One taken out, actually knocked out by Shane Gibson.
That was a pass looking inside, and it looked like the ball slipped out of Tyrone's hands. And right there, 2 IPFW players, they just couldn't grab hold of the ball.
8:47 remaining. This is Tyrone Tate. No room that time. Back to the outside, Jones. That 3 was way off. Sort of a screen in front. Turn it over.
The ball either got deflected or Todd got fouled, because you could see part of the ball going off to the left as soon as he let go.
The aggressor is Scott Simmons, and Piazza can't believe it.
He's not been too happy so far today.
This trip is turning into a nightmare for Fort Wayne. They came in the area on Wednesday, arrived in Owensboro, and fell short Thursday night, like I said. They were unbeaten and ranked number 4 in the country. And right now they're trailing by 15. This is Tyrone Tate. Andre Walton. And Walton has some room. Right there is Bowles. Bowles, and that time Walton taking a shot at Bowles.
I told you before, he's scrappy, and he's going to be everywhere on the floor. Good baseline move there by Scott. Good follow-up by Chris.
It gets physical down there. This again is Taylor, and USI to come out with it. And the foul is against USI.
That's okay. That's another aggressive type of foul. That's what a coach likes to see. After a loose ball like that, you're going after it. Actually, they're going to call that on Simmons.
They are going to call that on Simmons. I thought the initial call was against USI.
That is Scott's 4th foul. Scott Taylor to the line, 3 for 3 tonight.
Scott Taylor.
I like this kid.
Yep.
Scott, a 6'4" freshman out of East Moline, Illinois, attended United Township High School.
USI by 17. It's getting later for Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. Wide open again. Left a couple wide open tonight, and that's Sean Gibson.
That's one of the concerns with a full court press like that. You can see the 2-man trap coming up here right in front of us at half court. Good look down the court, finding the open man, and then a good pass for the easy dunk for Gibson.
Sort of a mock cheer from the crowd on the last one, or at least the student section. 87-72. This again is Martin. 7.5 remaining. Bowles right back outside. The patience, Doug, have also been impressed. I've been talking a lot about the defense. How about the patient offense?
They have done that a lot this year whenever they've got things going their way. They see an opening, they're going to take the shot, and a good move right there by Craig Martin, just couldn't follow it up. But they've showed patience all season long, looking for the open man for the easy shot.
Trying to find room baseline again. That is Scott Simmons. And another one for IPFW. Don't let them slowly crawl back into this one, Doug.
And they are very dangerous. We talked about the size underneath, and right now I think Sean Gibson is really having trouble getting up and down the court because it's so quick of a fast-paced game like that. He was really trailing everybody else after the ball got down court. He came up with a rebound, a football-type pass, full court down to the bottom. But he is having trouble catching his breath.
Scott Simmons, out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, West Catholic High School, misses the first.
And that's been a problem for the Mastodons here in the second half especially. They came in as a team shooting 71% from the field, or from the free throw line. Now only 1 of 4 here in the second half.
87-73. Time check, 6:50 remaining. Tyrone, extra dish off, and again one working in favor of USI. I thought for a moment IPFW was going to get it back the last, maybe to touch Doug Reinke.
Well, it looked like it went off of his foot right before it went out of bounds, and the official on the baseline right there to see it.
Hebron had traffic there, uses the back of the glass. 89-73. You know, to score 100 points against IPFW, even in a losing effort, would be great. They are 11 points away from 100 again.
Well, it's something they've done all year long, especially here at home, averaging over 100 points a game. The high so far this year, 123.
In and out, follow-up good. Sean Gibson. He's come alive here, hasn't he? Both Gibsons have. Then they strip another. Turn it over here in midcourt. Hold on to it, Jeff, and back comes Tyrone. 6:10 remaining, 89-75, USI. Craig Martin will direct traffic, get it back here to Tyrone Tate.
And this is the patient offense again. Watch the movement along the baseline. A lot of motion offense, setting back screens, trying to get somebody open along the baseline.
Martin finds Doyle. Doyle finds Tate. One extra pass, and again, it's off the foot of Dunn Reinke. Inbound coming here, Coyle. Tyrone trying to find room baseline. Pop a shot, get the roll. Actually off the back rim, 91-75.
Only the 4th point for Tyrone. He struggled a little bit shooting, and we talked a little bit Thursday night about his main job out there is the floor general. He is the point guard. He is the one that's going to come up with the most assists out there, finding the open man. He had 6 assists at halftime.
Scott Simmons, let's go a long one. That counts for 3, 91-78. Tyrone, open again is Martin. Coyle now open top of the key. The rest covered here on a man-to-man. That one sent out of play. 5:03 remaining and 91-78. And Bruce Pearl, good idea, wants to talk about it. 5:03 remaining. USI 91, number 4 IPFW 78. This is USI basketball on TV 52.
I believe that we can restore prosperity.
For over 40 years, the primary responsibility for shaping America's economic policies rested with the office of the president. To learn how these decisions are made, how they affect you, enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
A lot of my friends have already retired. But I wasn't ready for that. So I'm still teaching. This time in Belize, Central America. I decided to join the Peace Corps. I love my kids. And the way I figure it, I have the rest of my life to play cards.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
I'm Darren Smith with Doug Emig. We welcome you back to USI's Pack Arena on the campus of the University of Southern Indiana. School starts up again on Monday. We'll have the students back for USI's next home game. Like I said, they hit the road Thursday in Frankfort, Kentucky State Thursday. Bellarmine on Saturday in Louisville. They return home on January 21st. That's a week from this Thursday night against St. Joe at 7:30, and that will be a good one.
We talked about there's a success here at home, 7-0 at the Pack Arena, going for win number 8 here. Only 3 road games so far this season, so it's going to be interesting, especially conference-wise, when they take to the road next week, how these guys work on the road.
Reinke trying to find room, and there we get Andre Walton. Hey, an 11-point lead, Doug. Not that much anymore, is it?
Well, I think before that last basket, I was going to say you're going to see USI really pull the ball out a little bit. 2 things. They're going to force IPFW into a fouling situation. They're also going to run some of the time off the clock. You've got that. At that point was a 13-point lead. You really didn't need to try to score. You just work it out. You saw the motion offense, and that's one of the big keys, I think, for Southern Indiana. Moving without the ball, setting those screens on the baseline, trying to get to easy open shots.
Take your pen and scratch out number 44, Doug Reineke. He just fouled out.
Finished the game with 6 points, all of those coming back in the first half.
4:35 remaining. 91-80. We'll next see Doug Reinke on February 4th. And our folks here in Evansville will see that game on February the 6th. 91-80. And back into the game comes Pat Murphy. Coyle nails one. I'm looking forward to driving up to Frankfurt on Thursday afternoon to sit down and watch this game as a fan. This is fun, like you said, Doug.
Have you ever tried to do that, though? That is so tough.
Yeah.
It's kind of enjoyable just to sit back and watch it, but then you feel like this is going on, so I should be doing something.
Long 3. Not there. Follow-up Murphy just into the game. And he is fouled. 93-80. And if you're just joining us late on this Saturday night, let me stress to you, it is not over yet. 93-80. That's a 13-point lead. But here, one of your better teams in the country in IPFW.
It's a very different type of ball game compared to what we saw back on Thursday night when USI played an exceptional ball game against Ashland. They were in control all the way through the ball game. That win 121-74. But they came out in the second half and really had the opportunity to bring in a lot of personnel. We saw everybody that was on the bench dressed come in and saw some action. In this game, especially against a ball club like IPFW, you know they're going to be tough. They're not going to give up.
1 for 2 that trip up. 93-81. It's USI by a dozen. Nice play by IPFW. This turns out to be a very big possession for them. On the outside here is Scott Simmons. A big 3. Boy, is that big. Check it out. 93-84. That is USI by 9.
And I thought for a minute there they were going to call a foul on Chris Bowles with a push-off. It went the other way. Foul's going to be on Pat Murphy. That is his 4th. And you can see right now that pressure defense from Fort Wayne really having problems for Southern Indiana. A turnover there, another easy bucket for him. And then the 3-point shot by Simmons, who has really caught fire. He's hit his last 2 of 3.
USI once led by 20. It has been cut down to 9, but here at the free throw line is Chris Bowles. John Honstreeter getting set to check back in for Andy Piazza.
That is also the 5th foul on Pat Murphy. Kind of quiet tonight. Picked up 3 fouls back in the first half. Fouls out of the game with 1 point.
4:08 remaining. 2 fouled out. Take your pen. Yeah, scratch number 54, Pat Murphy. Ball's missing the first end.
And we've talked all season long the importance of these free throws. This is a game where they really are going to count. When you get down to this point, 4:08 left in the ball game. 1 of 2 for Chris, now a 10-point lead.
USI by that 10 with 4:07. This is Scott Simmons, another 3. Ouch. Ouch. 94-87. All of a sudden, a 7-point lead.
Has hit his last 3 3-pointers. Simmons came in hitting only 37% from three-point land, 13 for 35.
I told you these guys were tough. 94-87. Fans trying to start to whoop it up for USI. 20-point lead long gone, 3.5 remaining. Here's Martin. And Coyle right there. Nice job by Scott Simmons. They can cut it to 5, maybe 4. On the outside, here is another 3. IPFW. 94-90. Here is Bowles, and he missed it. 3:10 remaining. All of a sudden, we have got a game.
This is getting scary. 94-90 USI, and you can see the three-point shot starting to fall for IPFW. They've hit 6 so far here in the second half. 3 for Scott Simmons, 3 for Shane Gibson.
2:50 remaining. Tyrone. Don't go to bed yet. 96-90. Here's Shane Gibson. 2:35 remaining. Here's Hans Streeter. And again, the foul is called.
Foul's going to be on Chris. That'll be his 4th. That was a big concern, I think, probably for Coach Pearl at halftime. They knew that they had to shut down the inside game. Gibson had success back in the first half. Hans Streeter had success. He went to the line 8 times. And that last foul on Chris is his 5th. I missed one somewhere. Fouls out of the ball game with 19 points.
2:35 remaining. How quickly the tide can turn in college basketball. That's a big miss.
Hans Streeter, 10 points in the ball game, all those coming back in the first half. 6 for 8 from the line back in the first half.
Shot up there, 0 for 2. A big 0 for 2, but they got the rebound. That guy has been a thorn in our side all night. His name is Andre Walton.
And for as little as he is, we talked about his rebounding ability. Good job offensively, breaking that press again for the easy bucket that time, Jeff Doyle.
By 6 USI. It's coming right down to the wire, folks. 98-92. Here's Walton. Room in the paint. And again, the foul.
Reach-in foul is going to be on Dron Hebron. That's his 4th. Walton is to IPFW what Tate is to USI. The quickness, and you can see they find that opening along the middle. That's one of their jobs, is to penetrate that lane, try to draw that 2-on-1 coverage for an open man. He was driving to the lane to get to the bucket.
Let's talk about it. 6 points separate USI IPFW at the PAC. There's 2:10 remaining, and we're back after this timeout.
My hero, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero, Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
What comes to your mind when you think about mathematics? Clowns, street sweepers, the Red Sox, robots, the weather, earthquakes, Disney World, pineapples, conventions, parking tickets, fishing? If these practical applications of contemporary mathematics didn't make your list, you should watch public television's math series For All Practical Purposes.
Storyline 98-92 with 2:10 remaining. USI and Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne.
And we knew it would come. It was just a matter if there was going to be enough time for IPFW to get back in this ballgame. It's been the three-point barrage from Simmons and Shane Gibson from the outside. Sean Gibson on the inside here in the second half, along with Andre Walton.
Everybody up for USI. I'm talking the near 3,000 here tonight. once again is Andre Walton. USI trying to stay unbeaten in the conference. They're trying to go to 3-0.
15 points now for Walton. 9 of those coming here in the second half.
4-point basketball game. Tyrone, don't panic. Bowles is gone. He fouled out. Jones trying to find Doyle. And a big foul. You have a feeling this is going to come down to the free throw line?
I'm afraid it is. That foul right there on Shane Gibson. That is his 4th. Jeff Doyle to the line. He's struggled so far this year, but 3 for 4 there tonight. And this is where, as a coach, you look at those statistics coming into a ball game. And this point of the ball game, under 2 minutes, a 4-point ball game, you're going to see a fouling situation. A coach has to know which players to foul and which ones not to.
Good one, Jeff. 99-94. Here comes 100. USI by a half a dozen. 194. 158 remaining. Andre Walton. Look, everybody up. You and I may be the only two sitting down. Outside missed. Right there was Honstreeter. Whistle before the shot. Don't you count that basket. USI is still by 6.
Push-off foul underneath on Honstreeter. Battling underneath with Duran. Gave him a little push just to get position after the missed 3 from Simmons. And interesting right now, you see the personnel on the floor for Coach Pearl. The veterans are out there right now for the down-the-stretch battle.
Hebron, Jones, Martin, Doyle, and Tate. Chris Bowles has fouled out of the ball game. Hebron. Trying to give now USI a 7-point lead.
Duran 5 points tonight, 1 for 3 from the line.
Second good. 101-94. 140 remaining. Trying to find room baseline. Traffic there. In and out. Rolled right over the rim. Let's turn it up, guys.
Big miss right there. Gibson had Jones on his hip. And a big rebound by Duran.
Boy, did that hurt. It's against Craig Martin.
I'm not sure about that call.
101-94 by 7 USI. 123 remaining. Number 4, Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne on the baseline. And it just drops in.
Big bucket right there by Shane Gibson. A quick timeout by IPFW. 5-point game now, 101-96 in favor of Southern Indiana.
We can keep it here. 101-96 and a 5-point lead. And when it was a 20-point lead,
we were feeling pretty good.
It was all fun and games. You want to call it cockiness? All right. Right now it's a 5-point lead at 101-96, and we are not so cocky anymore, are we?
Well, at this point in the ball game, it gets back to the fouling situation. Bruce Pearl and his staff know that's basically what Piazza's going to come out and do. They've already got 10 team fouls, so it's going to be a 2-foul situation. So you want to keep the ball in your free throw shooter's hands. And you look at the personnel on the floor right now. Tyrone Tate coming in 76%. Craig Martin at 77%. Jeff Doyle had struggled a little bit coming in, but he's hit 6 of 7 here tonight. You've also got Todd Jones at 73%. So you want to keep the ball in your ball handler's hands. Also get the ball when you get it up court into the guys that can hit the free throws.
I'm going to take this time to remind you this broadcast authorized and produced solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the University of Southern Indiana, NWAZ. TV 52 is prohibited. Our producers tonight, Todd Suter, Mickey Buzzingham. Jammin' Jim Johnson is back at master control. This is USI Basketball Saturday night with Doug Emming. I'm Darren Smith. 101-96.
Big inbounds play right here, and you can see IPFW. Everybody back. USI is going to look in the front court to see if they can find somebody, sending Martin down deep.
1:10 remaining. Tyrone. What was easier earlier is not so easy anymore. Closing minute now at the Pac Arena.
And I'm really surprised we have not yet seen a foul from IPFW. That's a good thing for USI. If they can keep that ball moving around, run that time off the clock.
101.96, USI by 5. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Now they'll bring it in. Tyrone, and this is Hebron. All kinds of room is clobbered underneath. Yeah, I'm with you, Doug. Why wasn't there a foul earlier?
It's beyond me. That foul on Shane Gibson, that is his 5th. So now 3 IPFW players lost to disqualification. And a pretty good second half here for Shane Gibson.
Good night, Shane.
17 points for the ball game, 13 of those coming in the second half with 3 3-pointers.
Hebron here at the free throw line. Give credit tonight also to our statistician.
Jeremy Bellwood helping out along, having a little bit of trouble keeping up with all the points put on the board tonight, but I think learning a lot and having a lot of fun. He's seen a great ball game.
He's got a front row seat right here at press row. 101.96. 45 seconds remaining. Shot clock's turned off. Duran the first, good. .102.96. That is USI by 6.
Now the concern, I think, for USI is do not foul. You know IPFW is going to take the ball down very quickly. As far as a 3-point attempt, look for Walton from the outside. Also number 23, Scott Simmons.
Andre. Marcinek forced out there. 3 have fouled out. Big outside 3 is an air ball. And a foul call. Advantage USI.
That should probably seal it up right there, even though we talked a little bit about that before. Foul on Hanstreeter trying to battle inside again with Duran underneath. That is where his big concern, I think, right now for Coach Pearl is keep those guys down on the baseline. You don't want to foul in the shot, but if there is a miss, make sure you grab that rebound.
32 seconds remaining. This again is Hebron. Missing the first end. Remind you again, 32 seconds remaining. And the second, 0 for 2 that time for Duran. 30 seconds left. This is Andre Walton.
And look for IPFW to take a quick timeout if they make a bucket.
Missing the outside shot. Both came up plenty a couple minutes ago. Lost it. 16 seconds remaining. Here's Tyrone, and there's the foul. It is no longer a question whether USI will enter the top 20 in the nation. It's where you going to put them.
Exactly how high are they going to go? That last foul, reach-in foul, kind of a desperation foul right there by Hanstreeter. That is his 3rd. Tyrone Tate to the line, 0 for 1 there tonight.
13 seconds remaining. USI will go to 9-2. 3-0 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Tyrone.
7 points now for Tyrone, but that is not his main job out there on the court. We've talked about that all season long. He is the leader out there as far as getting the ball to the open men. He's not going to put a lot of points on the board, even though he had a pretty good game the other night. His main concern is finding the open man, getting in the ball.
105.96, the 2 missing. Contact underneath. That's a little bit of frustration. IPFW goes home 0-2 on this road trip.
Again, another foul on Hanstreeter, and again, Duran Hebron down underneath, making sure he gets that rebound on the missed shot.
5 seconds remaining. Hello, top 20. Sometimes coaches and players don't put a lot of bearing on that, but it's nice to see your team there amongst the nation's elite. That is us, the nation's elite.
Well, realistically, it's pretty much immaterial. More or less, it's just good publicity for the school. And I really thought, after beating Kentucky Wesleyan a week ago, that they would break the top 20. They had already beaten Grand Canyon, as we talked about, in a big win against the number 2 team in the country. For the second week in a row, they received votes, but not enough to get in the top 20.
Torenzetti. into the ball game. And back in comes Mike Jones. He made an appearance. We're getting set to check back in. Made an appearance back on Thursday night. Mike Jones out of Linville, Tecumseh High School. 5 seconds remaining, 107-96.
Pretty much immaterial at this point. You're going to see Walton let the ball go as far as he can before he picks it up to get the clock started.
Final seconds here, and that's your weekend, and that's your ball game. USI beats number 4, IPFW.
It was not easy, and even though we had a commanding lead earlier in the ball game, IPFW, a very good ball club, they never gave up. They started hitting their shot from the outside. The threes started falling for Simmons and Shane Gibson. They got back into the ball game, but down the stretches, even though Chris Bowles was on the bench with 5 fouls, the guys came through with big clutch plays. You knew IPFW was going to foul them. They hit the free throws.
It'll be an all-out war on February 4th when they head to IPFW. That a ways away. Next focus, Kentucky State Thursday night. We'll wrap up the weekend with USI basketball, 107-96. That's a final. We're back with more after this timeout.
You made it. Hey, I couldn't have gotten through physics without you.
Yeah, well, you're on your own at college.
It's not fair.
That's all right. I'm going to get a job, you know. I'm start working, I'm saved. And I'll be in college in another year or 2.
So, what do you have planned, Mike?
I think I'm going to go home and make a sandwich.
Support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Vince, come on, we're late. This headbagging is more fun than going through a windshield.
Good night from Iron Maiden. Drive home safe. Remember to strap yourselves in with your safety belts. You don't want to end up like Eddie.
Belt up. USI's winning streak continues. Joining me now, Craig Barton, a big one tonight. A comfortable lead all of a sudden dwindled there, and this game was on the line with a couple minutes left.
They came back, hit a lot of three-pointers in the last 6 minutes. We weren't defending it well, and they were knocking it down, and it got close.
Then you guys lost Chris Bowles, a big part of USI basketball.
I think tonight we learned we can win without Chris if we have to. It's not that we want to do it, but tonight he went out with the 5 fouls, and we stuck it out and won.
This was a physical game anyway. 3 or 4 of them fouled out, too.
They had 4 kids inside. They were about 6'6", 220, and they pushed around a lot, and we tried to push back, and it was very physical.
Greg, what's the attitude now around USI basketball? A year ago, completely different story. You guys are about to enter the national spotlight. Now you will enter the top 20.
Coach said he's been motivating us by telling us we haven't been anybody right now, at least up to this point, but right now I think we're somebody. People are going to start recognizing us.
Greg, congratulations. You go enjoy it. I know you will.
Thank you very much.
That's Craig Barton. I'm Jared Smith. We're back with more after this.
Bonjour. French in Action, opening a new era in language learning. A television course in 52 lessons centers around a wonderful romantic comedy filmed entirely on location in France. The story of Mireille, Robert, Marie-Laure, and the mysterious man in black will help you to learn, to understand, and to speak French. Watch French in Action.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
USI big over Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne, beating number 4 in the country. Last weekend they beat number 2 in the country. Earlier in the season they beat number 7 in the country. You guys are playing pretty good basketball, Scott.
Right, that could be attributed to basically the coaching staff for their scouting reports and getting us prepared and everything, and plus our captains getting us motivated every game.
You guys now going to take all your attention, enjoy tonight, focus all your attention to Kentucky State on Thursday night. The Dungeon Civic Center is no easy place to play.
Yes, definitely. I've been told that it's very difficult to play there, as is all the GLVC quality away games. So right now we're going to focus on that. You know, we're taking it one game at a time as usual, so that'll be our next challenge for us.
The attitude is positive. You guys are playing outstanding basketball. Now you have a couple of days off and 2 big ones next week. What have you guys been practicing on, or what are you trying to work on? You've got to iron out a couple of things. I know you're not happy with absolutely everything.
Right. There are a lot of things we have to work on. We've got to keep up our defensive intensity for the whole game and things like that. But basically, the comeback can be attributed to they're just a great team. They're very competitive through from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. They're very competitive, very good.
It's proud to be USI basketball fan. Scott, go enjoy it.
All right, thank you.
That's Scott Taylor. I'm Darren Smith. We wrap up an evening of USI basketball.